Welcome back to episode 145 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. We have 2 weeks left. Well, now it's less. 2 weeks left of the Major League Baseball regular season in 2025, and teams are clinching playoff spots. Teams are getting eliminated from postseason contention, but um, we've got it all covered here, man, as we get to the home stretch here of the last 15, 14 games of the season here. It's a little sad because again, it feels like the season has gone super fast. But we got postseason baseball coming up, which I'm kind of looking forward to it, kind of not. But um, we'll get into all that. But before we do that, Kyle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say much. I mean, the season has come and gone, man, so quickly. I remember coming into the season and just laying out the plan for the year as we do every year. Um, a lot of things have happened, a lot of things have changed, and I'm excited, man. My Yankees, they've been playing good baseball, but unfortunately for us, Toronto's been playing better baseball, or just as good. So overall, though, I can't complain. I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Watched a ton of sports over the weekend. Actually went out to Buffalo Wild Wings, so your local Buffalo
Saw
Wild
that.
Wings, to watch some stuff for a little bit. So I actually went outside other than work, so that was nice. Watched football yesterday, did some stuff in the morning with my dad, like some chores, but I was still able to watch the majority of the games. Saturday, watched the Canelo fight. That was very entertaining. I knew he wasn't going to win, but it was still fun either way. Um, and then, yeah, just watching these Dodgers. They did what they were supposed to do last week. They swept a bad Rockies team, and then they took 2 out of 3 from the Giants after another bad loss on Friday. It seems like Yamamoto every time, and the stats back it up. He gets no run support whatsoever anytime he takes the mound, and it showed up again Friday as the Dodgers only scored 1 run, and that 1 run was a Michael Conforto home run, and it's like Jesus, this guy continues to buy himself more and more time on this team, but the Dodgers did get the next two. So I'm pleased about that. The Dodgers are up 2.5 games in the West. The magic number, I believe, is like 10 or something like that, or 8. And then we got a big series coming up this week against the Phillies, which we will know by. I mean, listen, if the Dodgers drop one of these games, it's over. Like the Phillies are going to get the 2 seed. The Dodgers basically have to sweep. Because I
Mhm.
was looking at the Phillies schedule yesterday. The Phillies are not going to lose that much more. You know, I think they have the Marlins and then the Diamondbacks and then the Twins to end their season. So essentially the Dodgers, if they can't sweep this series against the Phillies, they're gonna play in that 6-3 wild card series. But to answer your question, I'm doing well. Final homestand for me at Dodger Stadium this week. Unbelievable, crazy man. It's gone by so fast, but um, it's not over yet because unless the Dodgers completely collapse here at the end, which I don't think they will, there's going to be some postseason games at Dodger Stadium again, and I'm very much looking forward to that. But um, let's get into these topics here. Um, so we did this last week. We gave our final um, division winners. Now we're going to continue that trend with final MVP picks and our final Cy Young Award picks. Um, so this should be fun because now it's pretty much like all right, like we at this point we know who like the 1 and 2 guys are like, um, but where do you want to start? I think you want to start American League or National League MVP because I
Um,
think we're both gonna make our cases for our guys here in a sec.
yeah, we've been starting in my AL a lot, so I'll let you go first with the National League for your MVP.
Sure. Listen, man, I understand it's Shohei Ohtani. I'm sorry. Like I know it's probably a little bias here, but just Shohei leads every category. I think except home runs and um, RBIs or runs, something like that. Here, I have it right here in front of me. So Shohei Ohtani leads all these categories. He leads in WAR, plate appearances, hits, stolen bases, batting average, OBP, slugging, OPS, and OPS plus. The only two categories that Kyle Schwarber leads in right now is home is. Oh wait a minute, this is not right either. The hell? Well, this is not right. This is from a couple days ago. Anyways, um, it still stands though. I believe the only two categories that Schwarber really leads in is home runs and RBIs. You know, Shohei Otani's doing everything now. I will say, like, he has struggled a lot this year, and it tells in his batting average. He's batting 280, and it for some reason it feels lower. Maybe because he was basically automatic last year with runners in scoring position, and this year that's kind of not the case. It's dipped, I think, to like 240 to something. There we go. Shout out Kyle. He's got the stats right here in front of me. Yeah, better prepared than I am. So yeah, um, Shohei Ohtani leads every category except games, which is not by much, and then home runs and RBIs. Um, Not to mention Shohei's pitching this year too. And again, I'm gonna make the same argument I made a couple weeks ago. It's so funny to me that the same people that were trying to tell Dodger fans last year that Shohei Ohtani can't win MVP because he doesn't play a position and DHs shouldn't win MVP. So funny, ironic. Those same people this year are trying to make the case for Kyle Schwarber to win MVP this year. Don't get me wrong, man. Kyle Schwarber is having an incredible season. Over 50 home runs, over 120 RBIs. That's all great. But Shohei Ohtani leads everything else, and you know we'll see what the voters decide because they have to submit their vote, I believe, by the end of the season, in a couple weeks here. So, but Kyle Schwarber is having an historic season. Don't get me wrong; he's having a great season. But Shohei Ohtani's doing everything else, man. Like his numbers have dipped, and it's crazy because Shohei's at 49 home runs, uh, right now. A year ago today, or at this time a year ago, he was still at 48. So technically, he's ahead of his pace from last year. Shohei Ohtani has 100 home runs in his first 2 years as a Dodger. I think that's the quickest anybody's ever done that. And he's pitching, and he's been actually pretty good. So I think Shohei's your MVP, but again, I can see a world where they give it to Kyle Schwarber. I really can. But
Yeah, man. I'm gonna double down on what you said. It's Shohei's. For me personally, um, I mean, just looking at the stats that Kyle Schwarber does lead Shohei in, I'm gonna look at games first. It's 150 compared to 146, and I'm also gonna put these stats when I'm editing the podcast. I'm gonna put them up so then you guys can see exactly what we're talking about here. Games is, I mean, Schwarber's got four on Otani. That's almost a wash to me. Home runs, I mean, that's the big thing, right? The long ball, 52 to 49. There's not much of a difference there for me to sway this MVP award enough. I look at ribbies. Kyle Schwarber's got more by a pretty decent margin. It's 30 plus. 127 compared to Otani's 93. 93's 93 RBIs. Shohei might have more than that by season's end. And the rest of these stats here, I there's not enough for me to sway. And batting average doesn't count as much nowadays, but it means something to me. And Kyle Schwarber's 244 compared to Otani's 281. OPS, Otani's still above 1,000. That's that's a hell of a season. 6.6 WAR compared to 4.7. Yeah, there's just not enough there for me. It's Otani. It's got to be in my mind.
yeah, and I think the majority of fans around baseball would agree. Of course, you have like that. I mean, obviously, all Phillies fans and a lot of people are, saying, "Oh, you should give it to Kyle Schwarber." But I do think at the end of the day, um, Otani will win. But I'll tell you, man, this is a lot closer than it is in years past. I know a lot of people last year wanted to make it, closer with
Mhm.
Lindor, but I mean, this is to me, this is a lot closer than it was last year. But
Yeah, I agree.
um, we'll see how these two finish. I'm very excited to see how many home runs Shohei will finish with. If he can finish with more than Schwarber, it'll look a lot better on the stat sheet. But um,
Absolutely.
he still has some ground to make up. All right, now let's switch over to the American League MVP. Um, I'm surprised that this is more of a conversation. Now, listen, I know everything I just said with Shohei Ohtani a second ago. Probably gonna call me a hypocrite here, but listen, man, I think Kyle Rawlings is gonna win the award, man. I really think he is. I'm not. That's not taking anything away from Aaron Judge because Aaron Judge has missed some games and he's still having a monster historic season, which is incredible. But Kyle Rawlings, most home runs ever hit by a catcher. Most switch hitting home runs ever. I think he hit that milestone yesterday. Um, this guy's doing incredible things. Oh, and by the way, he's playing one of the hardest positions in baseball, catching. Um, and he's been available. Like he's played 147 games so far. Like I don't know if he's on track to play all of them. I don't think so. I know he has been a DH some nights too, but and I understand that Aaron Judge does lead. Has a better batting average, has a better OBP, a better slug, better OPS. But still, I think what Kyle Rawlings is doing is historic here. And again, we saw this with Judge with Otani in 22. You have to do historic things if you want to beat Shohei Otani for an award. And I think now it's shifted over to Judge. Like, hey, you're gonna have to do something pretty historic to take the award away from Judge. If we're I understand, if we're using the term, and this can go for Otani versus Schwarber too. If we're just going by most valuable, the Aaron Judge should win it every year. But seems like that shifted a little bit. But I'm giving it to Cal Raleigh. I think he's had an incredible season, and I think he deserves it.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. Cal Raleigh has had a great season. But you know who else has had a great season? That's Aaron
Yeah.
Judge. Um, let me tell you something. All right. So I want to look, and I'm going to send this to you too, just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about here. Same thing. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you guys can see. Um, I'm going to kind of go down the category a little bit. WAR, Judge leads 8.2 to 6.3. Now, games played. This has been a big argument for Aaron Judge, right? He's missed some time, things like that. Cal Raleigh has played in 8 more games than Aaron Judge this year. I don't think it's that close to be able to determine to sway this award. Plate appearances, Cal Raleigh's got 652 compared to Aaron Judge's 619. Hits, Aaron Judge now leads Cal Raleigh in hits, 163 to 134. It's not close. Cal Raleigh leads in home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. Okay, I want to break that down real quick. Home runs, 54 for Raleigh. Okay, I understand it's the most by a catcher. He's tied Mickey Mantle, blah, blah, blah. Um, Judge has 48. Okay. To me, that's 6 homers. Judge has played in 8 less games. What happens if Judge played in those games? RBIs, 115 compared to Judge's 102. Okay. To me, again, that's too close. That's 13 RBIs. Stolen bases. Judge isn't rolling around these bases, and
Right.
honestly, neither is Raleigh. 114. I'm sorry, 14 compared to 11. Now, this is the big ones for me. These 5 categories: batting average, OBP, slugging, OPS, and OPS plus. Judge leads, and it's by a big margin. Okay. The batting average is what sticks out to me. 326 Aaron Judge is batting on the year compared to Cal Raleigh's 244. When in years past, when this award first started coming to light, things like that, I want to know, and this is some research I'm going to do. What is the lowest batting average an MVP has ever had? Because I'm going to be honest with you, 244 doesn't seem like that far off for Cal Raleigh. OBP 447 compared to 359. Slugging 678 compared to 577. OPS, this is another big one for me, 1,125 for Aaron Judge. That is ridiculous. I am shocked that he kept those numbers up all year. compared to Cal Raleigh's 936. OPS plus 207 to 165, and they were both All Stars this year. Um, and here's another argument I keep hearing: history, right? Cal Raleigh's made a lot of history this year. Well, let me tell you something. So is Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has the most first inning homers by any player in Major League history that he accomplished this year. He passed 2001 A Rod. Um, Not to mention, he's climbing the ranks in the New York Yankees franchise history books. Home run, okay? All time home run leaderboard. You have some big names on that list. Aaron Judge passed Yogi Berra and Joey D this year. That is two absolute, no doubt about it, all time greats. Yogi Berra, I mean, most World
Those are
Series
icons.
icons. Um, so yeah, I mean, I hear the case for Cal Raleigh, and it's understandable. But let me tell you something: Aaron Judge is still here, and I don't want anybody to forget that he's still here and he's doing his thing. Um, and he's gone through the injury bug, man. And it hit him again this year. He wasn't playing the field as much, but I'll be honest with you: if it was up to Aaron Judge, he'd be playing the field a whole lot more. And if you've been watching reports, Judge and Boone were very off when Judge first had to go on the shelf. Um, and then as of recent, Aaron Judge has like just turned it on like nobody's business. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, he's been hitting doubles, hitting singles. He's playing elite defense when he is in the field. Um, and the batting average, man, that's what I go back to. 326, and his OPS is almost it's almost 1200, dude. That's insane. Um, so for me, yeah, maybe a little bit bias comes into it, but dude, it's almost not a question to me. Like I get it. I see the case for Cal Raleigh, but when I look at these numbers, man, it is. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's Judge's award, man. Um, so I'm going Judge. I can't bet against him. And like we open this up, we still have a little less than what is it? A little less than 2 weeks to go in the season.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, this season, I mean, we still got some time. Raleigh might, pop off for 60 homers. Who knows? Judge might be in 55 range, 56, whatever that looks like. Um, and we'll see. But as of right now, man, to me, it's not even close. It's Aaron Judge. That's my guy, and I'm gonna roll with him. And maybe that's partial reason why I'm making the case for him. But to me, man, like I gotta go Judge. I can't bet against it. And like I'm looking at the numbers. It's not me just being a biased Yankee fan. I'm looking at these numbers and I'm making the case for Judge, and I'm trying to make a case for Raleigh, but then there's something that just gets overshadowed with whatever Judge does, and whatever kind of history or label you want to put on it. To me, it's Judge. So I'll end it there, and then we'll see where the season goes. But uh, to me, man, it's got to be Judge.
I get it. I get it. I mean, you're not just being complete Yankee fanboy here. Like you have the stats. You're presenting the stats to back it up, and
Mhm.
we'll see if the voters feel the same. But
We'll see.
it's it's gonna suck for either camp though. Whoever doesn't
It
win it,
will.
that's gonna suck, and their fan bases because they're gonna be up in arms about it too.
Absolutely. And see, here's the thing. Both of these guys deserve to win MVP, in my mind. Honestly, all four of these guys, Schwarber, Otani, Raleigh, and Judge. But at the end of the day, there's only two winners, one in each league. So, um, that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be.
Switching over to the Cy Young Awards here. So I have stats in front of me for both of them. So I'm gonna start here with the National League. To me, the three that I'm looking at closely is Skeens from Pittsburgh, Freddie Peralta from Milwaukee, and Christopher Sanchez from Philly. Um, it's Paul Skeens. It's Paul Skeens. Like he has an under 2 ERA. He's made 30 starts. He has a better WAR than the other two that I just mentioned. Has the most strikeouts, which he won me that on Prize Picks this season. Shout out Paul Skeens. Um, has less walks out of the other two. And if it wasn't for the Pirates being, a bad run organization, he's only 10-9. If they were to just give him a few more run support, he would have like 14 or 15 wins and less losses here. So I think it's Paul Skeens without question, but that doesn't take away from the good seasons that Christopher Sanchez is having and the good season that Freddie Peralta is having in Milwaukee. So, but I do think it's Paul Skeens.
Yeah, this is going to be a real quick overview. I mean, 10-9, 1.92 ERA, 203 strikeouts, under a one WHIP. I mean, my God, dude, the hell is this guy doing? Like this is insane. I mean, it's Paul Skeens. That's all there is to it. I mean, this guy's doing phenomenal things. And I understand, like, me and Paul Skeens got off on the wrong foot last year. Okay,
Yeah,
with the whole
All
All
Star
Star game
game.
thing. But listen, like, I said it then, and I'll say it now. Like, I was never against this guy, and I thought he came up too quick, but I knew that this was going to happen. I mean, Paul Skeens, he's he's exactly what exactly what his prospect camp said. That's just what it is. Yeah, Paul Skeens, Cy Young.
And now switching to the American League. The two that I have, of course, Tarek Schoolball, which thankfully the medicals came back okay the other day because it was scary when I heard the news that he got taken out of the game. So it seems like he's gonna be okay. And Garrett Crochet in Boston. Those are the two that I have. Now, now you look at the stats, and I have them in front of me. Garrett Crochet has a better record than Paul Skeens. He's pitched more innings. I mean, Paul Skeens. He's pitched more innings than Tarek Skubal. He has a better record than Tarek Skubal. He has more strikeouts than Tarek Skubal. However, higher WAR for Tarek Skubal, a better ERA plus, a better strikeout percentage, or better K percentage, which that doesn't make sense because how does Crochet have the higher strikeout total? But um, has less walks. This is to me. This is tricky. I'm still going with Tarek Skubal, but I could see people making a case for Garrett Crochet. I really can. I really, really can. So I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, Tarek Schoolball has under a one WHIP, so that's impressive as well. Um, I'm giving it to Schoolball, and I think they will too. But Garrett Crochet is having a very good first year with the Boston Red Sox, and he will be a top three finish in the American League Cy Young voting no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think this might be the closest award
I
in my.
agree.
I mean, like I said, MVPs are going to be close. You can make a case for all four of those guys. The NL Cy Young, I think you could potentially try to make a case for the other guys, but to me, it's Paul Skeens all the way. This one is tricky. This one's tough. I'm gonna be honest with you. And up until just, I'd say like a month ago,
Yeah,
Garrett Crochet kind of went under the radar. Um, he was just doing his thing in Boston, and I didn't realize he was pitching this much this year, man. Um, Almost 100. He was almost at 200 innings pitched. He has almost 10 more innings than Tarek Skubal here. The ERAs are pretty close, man. 2.26 for Skubal, 2.63 for Crochet. And the WAR is close too, 5.7 to 6.2. Um, it's tough. This one's tough because to me, it's like going into the season and going into the month of September. Maybe I started having this conversation with myself with like a week to go in August. It was Screwball all the way. Like there was no chance that anybody else could make a run.
yeah,
Um, this one's tough, but I'm gonna think that it's gonna go to Screwball. Um, Records really don't matter as much anymore for
that's true.
pitchers, and I think the numbers, like, yeah, they're close, but I don't know, like game one or game seven, kind of both of them have a little bit of the same tone to it. I would go Scooball. I want Scooball pitching in that game. Um, so to me, I think it's going to be Scooball. but I am not confident in that at all. I'm not going to be pissed off if I'm watching this awards ceremony and I see Garrett Crochet winning the AL Cy Young. I think he's extremely deserving of it. Both of these guys sub 3 ERAs. Um, both of them deserve it, and it's kind of the same case that we made for the MVPs. I mean, it comes down to one guy, and to me, I think that one guy is going to be Scooball. But props to Garrett Crochet, man. I mean, he's having a hell of a year. Um, yeah, and we'll see where it goes.
Absolutely. So these awards should be very interesting. It'll be when we're in the middle of the off season in November. These are going to be fun
Yeah,
because I these are the years where we don't know who it can go to. So I
yeah,
think that's good for the sport and that's good for the league, man. You got a lot of players performing at their highest. That's good.
absolutely.
Um, before we get into our teams, shout out Anthony Rizzo, happy retirement. Cubs World Series champion in 2016, of course, Yankees legend. Um, he seems like he could do no. He was at the Yankee game last week and he got like a big ass applause. Now he went to the Cubs game too and he actually sat in the bleachers with them and he almost caught the first home run for that Cubs player and he just dropped it, so that sucks. But um, finished with over 300 home runs, a lifetime 261 batting average. Um, Obviously, he's not going to make the Hall of Fame or anything like that. But still, kind of like a um, memorable player for our generation. You know, there was that famous trade with the Padres and the Cubs that brought um, Rizzo to Chicago. That kind of kick-started that kind of rebuild. You know, that turned into that 2016 champion team. Um, Platinum Glove, four-time Gold Glove winner, three-time All Star, Roberto Clemente winner. Um, Good career, very solid career. Like I said, he's not making the Hall of Fame, but memorable career and a memorable player for this generation. Very under the radar. So happy retirement, Rizzo.
Absolutely. This is a guy who we both grew up watching. Absolutely. Like he's just a lovable player, man. You can't hate Anthony Rizzo. There's no reason to hate him. I mean, everything he did in Chicago, bringing that World Series to uh, for the Cubs and that drought, man, just it's just everything. Icing on the cake for Anthony Rizzo. I mean, he's had a phenomenal career. And yeah, I have to agree. He's probably not going to make the Hall of Fame. I don't see
Hall
him
of
even.
very good.
I'll be honest with you, man. Hall of very,
Hall of
very.
yeah.
I mean, he's on the cusp, man. Phenomenal player. I can't say that enough. And obviously, he's gonna be remembered for his time in Chicago. I'm not biased about that, but I will say, from a Yankees fan perspective, when the Yankees traded for Anthony Rizzo a couple years ago, I was ecstatic, man. And it's not even because of the player itself on field. It's for the amount of voice that he would have in that clubhouse. He's respected, and that's the kind of guy that you want in a clubhouse. He came over and he fit right in, man. Like immediately. I remember watching that first game of his in Miami. I think it was either a 2 or 3 game set against the Marlins, and he started his first game, and he hit a homer right away, and like just I thought I was watching a Yankees player who's been on the team for years. He fit right in. He was just such a leader in that clubhouse, and absolutely phenomenal player. And I loved having him on my team. Yeah, no, phenomenal. I can't say enough about him. Congrats to Anthony Rizzo.
There you go. Now we'll get to our teams here. I'll start with the Dodgers because I think Kyle went with the Yankees first last week. Um, Again, this is kind of now, I'm going back and forth here. It's like a roller coaster with my emotions. I don't know how to feel with this team. Like they went 5-1. Um, Now it helps that they swept the Colorado Rockies at Dodger Stadium last week. Guys look good. Teoscar Hernandez looked really good. Mookie Betts, shout out to him. He is officially back. Since he said his season was over like a month ago, he's batting over like 330, which is
Also, too,
crazy. Yeah.
real quick, it just came across my screen here. He won
Ju-
NL Player of the Year. Sorry, Player of the Week. Him and
There
Aaron
we
Judge.
go.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Shout out Mookie Betts. Yeah, I saw that from I got it too. Fabian Ardaya, shout out one of the Dodger beat reporters. Yeah, so there you go. Player of the week too. So Mookie Betts is back up to batting 260, which obviously it's not great, but where this guy was like 2 months ago,
Absolutely.
approaching the Mendoza line here. He was batting like 220 at least at one point. So glad Mookie Betts figured it out, and I'm glad that he's also playing Gold Glove level shortstop. He's been making some incredible plays at shortstop, and all this talk about we should put him in right field, put him back there. That's not happening because he's figured it out at the shortstop position, and he's also figured it out at the plate as well. Going over to the other things, uh, I mentioned this to you, and I'm gonna mention it here as we go into these final 2 weeks. This Dodger bullpen is so up and down, so bad. Um, if I see, well, first of all, Ben Kasparius, who's been one of the brighter spots of the Dodger bullpen this year, he got sent down to AAA to make room for Kirby Yates coming off the IL last homestand. Big mistake. Big mistake. If I see Tanner Scott or Kirby Yates get the ball in a big spot in a couple weeks here, I'm just going to assume game over. Dodgers going to lose because they have been so god awful this whole season. Tanner Scott gave up the game again. Now, part of it was Friday because he got screwed. He should have had. He should have had in the bottom of the 10th inning. It should have been 2 outs with only one runner on, and he got a strikeout of Jung Ho Lee, but the umpire said that it was a foul ball and the catcher didn't catch it. It was a 3-2 count, and then he ended up walking Lee, and then they ended up intentionally walking the next guy, and then Matt Chapman hit a grand slam on a fastball that was up in the zone, and he hammered it. So, the Tanner Scott thing is just broken. I don't know what it is, but he's just having the worst year of his career. And Dave Roberts continues to put him in these positions as well. Like I understand, like you want to put him in these positions and maybe he'll find it, but he has shit the bed almost every single time. Like we gotta stop doing this. And um, one of the Dodger people on Twitter, actually looked up the stats. He's been better in the seventh and the eighth inning than in the ninth inning or later. This guy cannot be the closer of this team right now. Um, but um, the Dodgers were still able to salvage a series against the Giants. They took 2 out of 3, even after the bad loss Friday, and then the Dodgers were down early to Saturday. They were down 4-0, or no 4-1, and Kershaw didn't have it. The Dodgers responded. They punched, after getting punched in the mouth that previous night. The Dodgers bounced back, scored 13 runs, won the game 13-7, and then they came back and beat the Giants again 10-2 yesterday, and they took the series. But this is the point that I want to make as we get into the final 2 weeks of the season and as we get to October. Last season, the Dodgers won a championship by getting timely hitting from everybody in their lineup, but mostly having a dominant bullpen. I'm telling you right now, if the Dodgers want any chance of repeating as champions again this October, that cannot happen. This bullpen cannot be relied on whatsoever. If the Dodgers are going to repeat as champions, it's going to have to be from their starting pitching. And there's been a big enough sample size over this last month with everybody healthy that's the strategy that has to happen. Yamamoto took a no-hitter into the ninth inning. Tyler Glasnow took a no-hitter into the eighth inning. He had to be taken out. Blake Snell's looked good. They have legitimately 5 or 6 starters that they can go to in the postseason that you feel somewhat good about. So, starting pitching, if the Dodgers are going to go anywhere this postseason, starting pitching is going to have to go deep into these games. Because I'm telling you, if you're going to get 5, what the Dodgers did last year was, hey, telling their starters, hey, if you can give us 4 or 5 innings, that's great. We'll turn it over to our bullpen and we'll shut it down. That cannot be the case this year. There's only two or three guys you can really trust in that bullpen right now. It's Alex Vesia. I know Trina's been struggling a little bit. I still trust him. That's two. And then the rest of them, they're the kids, man. Jack Dreyer, Ben Kasparius, and Justin Robleski. Outside of Dodgerland, how many of those names have you heard of? Zero, because that's the answer. So you can't trust Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates. You can't trust these guys right now, or really anymore. But um, starting pitching is going to have to be the reason why the Dodgers win a championship this year, because this bullpen is very shaky, and unless they completely change it in the last 2 weeks, nothing's going to change otherwise. But Dodgers just continue to play well. Big series against the Phillies tonight, beginning tonight, 3-game series. If the Dodgers lose one of these games, the 2 seed is over, and we're gonna have to play in that best of 3 wildcard series coming up here 2 weeks from tomorrow. But it's not over yet. If the Dodgers can sweep the Phillies, we're right back in for the 2 seed. Obviously, we would need some help after from these other teams, and the Dodgers would have continued to play well in the final week and a half. But this is a big test because this is a potential division series matchup. Because if the season ended today, the Dodgers are the 3 seed, the Phillies are the 2 seed, and if the Dodgers can get by whoever gets that last spot in the National League, which right now it could be anybody. It could be the Mets because they're free falling. It could be the Giants who had it for like a half a day. It could be the Cincinnati Reds that could sneak in the back here, or the Diamondbacks, whoever. But if the Dodgers can beat that 6 seed, Dodgers are playing the Phillies in that division series in Philly to start. So this is a good test for this team, and they're going to see the Phillies' top 3 guys in the rotation starting tonight. All 3 lefties. We're going to see Ranger Suarez tonight. We're going to see Christopher Sanchez tomorrow, and we're going to see Jesus Luzardo Wednesday. So very anxious to see what this Dodger team looks like against a good team, and hopefully the Dodgers bring their A game, because it's time to get it going here a little bit. But there's my little Dodger update. Can't complain. They went 5-1. They did what they were supposed to do.
Beautifully said. Um,
Now, how about them
yeah,
Bronx Bombers?
yeah. We'll switch on over here as soon as I get these timestamps down. Okay, cool, cool. All right, so yeah, New York Yankees. Yeah. So last week when we recorded on the day that the podcast dropped, which was last Tuesday, they were beginning a 3-game set against Detroit and then going to Boston for 3 games. They lost 2 out of 3 to Detroit, which, hey, the fact that they squeezed the game out of there, I'm okay with that as of right now. Then you go into Boston, you win 2 out of 3. That was huge. That's big because those are the team. That's the team you need to win against, especially where you're at right now. Um, I think over the last week, my last week prediction with the Yankees winning the AL East might be out of reach at this point. But if that's the case, then you got to look at wild card standings, and Boston was right on your tail. So as of right now, the Yankees are 2.5 games up in the wild card. They have the first wild card spot. Boston's right on their tail, back a game and a half. Then you have Houston. Um, so yeah, just looking back on this week, man, the Yankees are playing good baseball still, and they're staying afloat and they're doing what they have to, um, and I think that is very big right now, especially with 2 guys I want to shout out. Number one, Aaron Judge. I mean, he's just been on a pace. Um, he, like we just mentioned, he won Player of the Week along with Mookie Betts. In that time frame, um, he ranked first in home runs, slugging, and OPS, runs scored, and total bases, and he ranked second in OBP, which was first in AL. 5 homers, 5 ribbies, 1,200 slugging, 450 average, and a 1.760 OPS. So Aaron Judge has been lighting it up. He's been doing his thing. Another guy I want to shout out is Jazz Chisholm. He just finished his first full season with the New York Yankees, 162 games. I made a post about this. He has a 40-40 season in there. That's big. That's huge, man. And that's coming from Jazz, a guy who's not necessarily known for his power, but it's very clear that he's got some pop in that bat. And just overall, I'm going to make it short and sweet. Yankees are doing what they have to. They're playing good baseball. The pitching staff worries me a little bit. Will Warren kind of shit the bed in his last two starts. He's not necessarily a guy who I trust in the postseason. Um, as of right now, Freed, Rodon, and I think I would put Gil in there as a third starter. Now, kind of just future here. Looking at the Yankees schedule, they start a 3 game series against Minnesota tonight, and then they go to Baltimore for 4 games. So those are games you need to win, and you can really pull some gain here in the wild card standings. I mean, you got 7 games here. At the absolute minimum, you got to go 5-7. You have to. You got to keep the foot on the pedal here, and these are teams who you should be winning. It's not like this is a Toronto and Detroit series where I'm saying you got to win 5, 6, 7 games. No, these are teams who you need to beat, and you need to win both of these series to continue. So they got to win at least 5 and take both of these series. After that, we'll obviously be at next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But as of right now, that's my expectations of the New York Yankees, and they just got to keep going, man. Just, bullpen's starting to figure it out a little bit. Like I said, I'd like to see a little bit more out of the pitching staff, but this lineup, man, um, and again, I'm going to say it week in and week out, Cody Bellinger. I need him to stay a Yankee. He's definitely going to opt out after this season. And I immediately I want the Yankees to offer this guy an extension. He has figured it out. He knows how to hit the ball very, very well. I mean, this guy, we've seen it in Los Angeles. We saw it a little bit in Chicago, and now we're seeing it in New York. He's got to be here long term. He was your replacement for Soto last year, and he's done a pretty damn good job at living up to that. So props to Cody Bellinger. Absolutely love what he's doing, and he's a Yankee, man. He's one of those guys that's come in here and he's wore those pinstripes very well, and I want him to continue to be in this Yankees clubhouse year in and year out. So overall, keep doing what you're doing and take care of business against these teams that you have to.
Runs in the family
It
with the
does.
Bellingers. Clay Bellinger and Cody Bellinger, both Yankees.
Absolutely. Don't let this one get away.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for episode 145. Um, yeah, postseason spots will be up for grabs. Probably next week we'll probably mention the Phillies winning the AL NL East. Which now that I think about it, they're gonna probably celebrate on our field. So
Yeah.
I'm not big on that. I completely forgot about that. That they're
Their
here.
magic numbers one.
Yeah. So and even if they don't win any of these games, all it takes is another Met loss and it's over.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
well, all right. Well, shit. I'm not big on celebrating in our clubhouse, but all right.
Get out of there. Get out of there after the final pitch.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck this. I'm getting out of here. Shit, I should go. I should bring my camera this week. To be honest with you,
It's not a bad idea.
go down towards the to the front by behind the dugout. Maybe
Yeah,
I should put on my Phillies hat.
there
Yeah,
you go. Dodger Stadium.
yeah, I know. All right, well, that's gonna do it. We'll see you next week. Adios.